Okay, our first presentation tonight is Foster Martinez and Terry McDonald from St. Vincent.
Hey, could I get an agenda item on?
Okay, Jewel.
It's already there, I think, Jewel.
Okay, great.
Jerry Finnegan. He added it.
Thank you.
Okay, take it away. SV.
Thank you for letting us come out and visit again. We're the project on 101 Green Lane that we've mentioned previously. That was Foster's project that he previously put forward. It's a 10-unit housing project that we're trying to design a property at 101 Green Lane for the purposes of veterans. So it's a case managed project for veterans that are coming out of homelessness and are going to be more stabilized inside the housing. It's a permanent affordable housing project, if I'm not mistaken. And the idea is to take advantage of the R2 zoning of this rather large parcel that used to have a single family dwelling on it, to turn it into a 10-unit project with the servicing of these veterans. So what has happened is that since the time we visited last, we visited with the city to talk about how to redesign the project. And I'll go ahead and, if possible, go ahead and walk through the changes because I was not here at the last meeting. So.
Right, on the next we moved building B on the street side to meet city code, and we'll also be constructing sidewalks and then iron fencing around the buildings for the ground floor units. The more we applied for a special accommodation for the parking lot because it's in between the community building and the streets. And then we strategically placed the parking to preserve natural old growth within the property. And then secondly, we have our residential garden and with central outdoor drainage to preserve the beautiful landscaping on this large parcel. And we've submitted for site review on 8/1, and then we're looking at a 4 to 8 month timeline, and then we'll submit for building permits after that. And then we intend to start construction August 2023. Thank you for your time. We wanted to share the changes as they come and keep the neighborhood association.
Well, obviously we entertain questions.
And obviously we entertain questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you just run your finger on the Green Lane is like?
Sure. The right here, Green Lane, and this is Elementary Road, and then Santa Clara Transfer Station is right here by LTD.
So all that LTD stuff that they bought, isn't going into a strip mall like we were told?
I have no idea of that information. We only own this one parcel, so we're not part of any larger investment.
Well, we told you once that we didn't want it, so that's my opinion. So,
Well, the good news about it is it's not my choice.
yeah, it's not gonna be my choice either, because the city's gonna do what the hell they want, but.
I'll pass on this.
Yes.
How's the financing?
Financing, private financing, St. DePaul has gotten some public grants as well as using some of its own resources.
So how much do you think it's going to cost?
Approximately $2.2 million.
Okay, and the rents would be how much?
Rents are really good.
Subsidized $550 per month.
Ridiculous.
When you say subsidized, I mean.
The VA,
The tenants will pay what?
$550.
$550.
So it'll be owned by the VA.
Yeah, owned by St. Vincent Paul Society right now.
We'll support the veterans coming through the Roseburg system for temporary housing, will be placed into a supportive housing program. And during that time in the program, it will pay the rent for the veterans to stabilize.
And for those who don't know, St. Vincent Paul has been administering veterans programs in this community for about the last 15 years. And housing, I think, last year, 234 homeless veterans.
Is there this map and information on our website?
Not at this time. We just got this from the architect. We're going to ensure that it's posted on our website. Thank you. Any follow-up questions?
She has it too easy.
What's the number of homeless veterans?
This will have units with 10 veterans.
No, I'm not. What are they, what's the overall meaning of homeless
Oh.
veterans? How many homeless veterans are there?
Currently, through efforts and last month, there were 136 veterans presenting in shelters or reported as lower homeless.
So there's only veterans. Yeah.
I was a caregiver, and I do support finding ways for housing for any type of elderly veteran, that whole situation. But the concern, right, is the environment, how we are getting there, and if it is, are we doing it in a way that it's actually helping and not racketeering? That is my concern, right? But so I know that St. Vincent is usually getting their funding in a good way, and I hope that's the situation. My concern though is, I guess the question, when you're doing, my question is, when you're building in the parking, are you going to be changing with the road here? Nothing there. And how many units did you say? Only 10, and what is the size of the property?
So the property is approximately 0.4 acres, if I'm not mistaken, which allows us to have 10.
Is that because of the way that it's zoned? It
It's
seems
zoned
like a
R2.
very small amount of units.
Yeah, it's an R2, so it's allowed 20 units per acre, and so we've got enough moving density.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
So when you say that it's private money going to come in as well, who's that?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about.
Well, the private money, St. Vincent Paul owns other properties, and they've scattered units around the community that we've acquired over the years. We've decided that it would be better for us to, rather than to have scattered single-family dwellings around the community, to sell those units in the market and then use the funds derived from that sale to build this project. So we're taking about half of the total of the $2.2 million. And it's coming out of the sale of other units we've done around the community. So that instead of having just 2 units of affordable housing for veterans, we will have 10.
Yeah, but where's the private money?
That's the process.
Oh, from the units that you sold.
Yes.
Okay. And the construction and the labor, is that coming from Oregon construction, like labor, or are you pulling from outside the state?
We're taking from Miley Construction, which is a local contractor who's been doing this for affordable housing, including Iris Place down on Purple Road. They've been a local contractor in the last 60 years in this community, and they do use them.
Harder still if it's on the block.
I'm sorry, if these questions have already been asked. I need to know.
And you know what? I like in repeating because it reinforces what we're doing.
What the fuck is going on? Just
You want to know about what St. Vincent is doing elsewhere?
Sure, take a minute and tell us you're doing.
We're going to be building mobile homes. So we have purchased the American Steel building at 888 Garfield Street, and we're going to be building in the fall next year. They're going to be building 888 Garfield Street, the old American Steel building on the corner of Broadway. And St. Vincent Falls Resources. Percent of our,
Okay, so when you say affordable housing, what community are you going to be reaching with those goals?
especially the fire victims in Southern and Eastern County, Southern Oregon, and Eastern County, the victims that have been burned out. So we want to make those units available for those populations.
Okay.
We would also like to make sure that we're 100% of median income or less. Pardon me?
How much will the rents be for that?
Rents. These are units that we're creating out in the marketplace that we're going to buy them. So for example, in Southern Oregon, we have over 2,500 units of we're burned out at the mobile homes in Southern Oregon. So the state of Oregon has created a pot of money to help pay for those folks to get back into their housing. So the private sector can't build units fast enough. And as a result of that, we're setting up a not-for-profit company that will do that and basically service that need. So the purchase would be coming from the state of Oregon, but the homeowners would be the people that are buying these units in Southern Oregon from the county.
So they'll be staying there, understanding for free.
Pardon?
They'll be staying there for free or with the taxpayer.
Buy the house.
Now, housing authorities, like the housing authority, has purchased Iron Wheels Mobile Home Park up in McKinsey. And they would like to go ahead and purchase some of these units as well, so that they would then be able to create affordable housing, rental housing for people that would like to live up in McKinsey. But that's a different story.
The first property you said was on 88 Garfield.
The manufacturing facility will be the old American Steel building at 888 Garfield.
And where is the second facility and what is it?
Oh, there will be no second facility until we make the success of the first. This one will be going ahead to create the product. We will be building 4 units a day, basically, in that site.
And what is the plan, for the second location?
If indeed successful, we would like to move forward and build a second site, probably out on North Danville, where there's an old abandoned mill site that would then go into modular housing and create more affordable housing much quicker than we're able to land the housing now. Again, the goal on this is trying to get the cost of construction of housing down by 50%.
When you say affordable housing for the 88 in Garfield, what is, if you're selling these units, what is it, and how is it making it affordable?
So the current price point for a mobile home at the present time is somewhere around $200 a square foot. So if you have an 800 square foot unit that you want to buy from a private vendor out there in the marketplace today, that's going to be about $160,000. Our goal is to make that unit available between $80,000 and $100,000.
But they still have to pay rent for the land that they haven't put on.
Again, we're manufacturers. What we're doing is manufacturing and making an affordable product for the public, whether it's an individual that is low income that wants to buy this, because it's only targeted to lower income people at 100% of median income or less. Or if it's a housing authority that wants to have it as rental housing, or if it's a state of Oregon that wants to replace fire with rental housing, that's the purpose of the program.
Who's paying for the rent of the lot that the unit is on?
The tenant would be paying the rent in an existing mobile home park. So in Phoenix, Oregon, for example, there was 7 parks that were burned out there. The parks are owned by the private sector. The owners of the properties, the units, are probably generally mobile home owners, people that live there. We're going to try and make sure that those people have energy efficient, fire resilient units that they can then buy from this project to put on the sites that would be rented from the private sector where they live.
I just have to find a private sector rental or money, and he's 6 years old, could buy a manufactured home on that lot. The rent for that lot was $725.
Right. I would suggest that you work with the city of Springfield on this, because the city of Springfield has received an allocation of $3 million to develop a new mobile home park specifically to deal with that population.
Just trying to find out, making sure it's not taxpayers who are doing this, HUD Section 8 only, that we are also paying for that rental.
If a family or an individual has a public sector voucher, then of course the public sector would be doing that. But the intent of all this program is to make affordable housing out there as fast as possible at lower prices.
I understand you're the manufacturer. The land still has to be safe.
Absolutely. And here's the good news, it's not my problem.
It's not a good problem.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed, who is the mayor?
Hope Community Corporation is a nonprofit organization that was set up by St. Vincent de Paul as an affiliate organization to do this manufacturing. $15 million from the state of Oregon and loan taxpayer money, $9.2 million loan from the Oregon Community Foundation, and of course some of St. Vincent de Paul's own resources. Yes, ma'am.
The American Steel Company. Who is the owner and who will be the acquisition?
St. Vincent Falls Society for the Counties.
So what prevents each of those lots of those 800 square foot mobile homes? What prevents that homeowner, that local homeowner, from buying that lot outright, so they're not cherry rigged around with a profit margin?
Right, so the deal is that this is a facility that's manufacturing the product. Where the product is ultimately is up to the owner.
Why can't in this deal making that be required? Because we all know what happens to mobile home parks. They sell out to the highest bidder, and then you've got these folks that are displaced, and it creates a whole new problem all over again. Let's seal the deal down, so when they do acquire and pay for these $160,000 mobile homes, if the land that they're sitting on, if they're not, in a kingdom of serfs, paying and being outright out of their home.
Which is
It
precisely,
should be more clearly put together so that that does not happen and more displaced folks happen.
we fully support that, and that's why St. Vincent Falls has acquired 8 mobile home parks.
And let's do it.
And I'm doing it as fast as I can.
But the ground that they set it on. is perfect.
Working as fast as I can. Yes, ma'am.
Do you make profit on this and then the profit goes back to the taxpayers because you got the money initially from the taxpayer?
We got the money from the taxpayers, and all the profits of it goes back into the mission of the organization, which is creating more affordable housing. It does not go back to the state.
So it does not go back to the taxpayer.
It does not go back to the taxpayer.
But it does become self-sustaining.
The whole sustaining part is that we have a deficit of affordable housing, period. It's not being filled. If we don't find a way to do it, we're going to have even more taxpayers that are going out.
So, what kind of a workforce are you targeting to work in the plant?
We're looking at the workforce coming out of Lane Workforce Partnership, Lane Community College, and the training schools associated with the high schools around the area to create the training population and the service population. We don't have enough trained staff in this area already. We need to be starting to grow our own trained staff, and that would be getting to the high school before these kids get fully into the drug culture. Getting them real jobs and real experience associated with this type of project. I do 10. Yes, sir.
So do you envision after this initial community and government taxpayer investment that you will not need additional funds or you think you'll be able to be self-sustaining? or-
That is the goal. That is the goal.
Awesome. I just want to say, I think it's great you're doing it because homelessness is a huge problem. And it's about-
Not only homelessness, just affordable housing for anybody out there. The truth is that we'll find a way to break the back of this particular issue. We're going to have an increasing issue of homelessness, not just from one home population, but from any population. The fastest growing homeless population in St. Vincent Falls sees right now is senior women over the age of 50 that are on fixed incomes. That's the fastest growing demographic of homeless we have. These are not bad people. These are not people that are horrible. These are people who have lived in our community for a long time. But they're on fixed incomes and being priced out of life. We must find a solution for that. Yes, sir.
But it comes down to affordability.
Yes.
It actually has to be subsidized. No matter what, we're gonna have some way of being able to, because I'm kind of confused. So the person who's going to, let's say, get in here is gonna pay $550 a month for rent. Is that?
No. You're talking about this project?
I'm talking about that, yeah.
This project.
Yeah, so they're gonna pay $550 a month, but is that the full rent? Will that be the full rent?
Yeah.
Are they responsible?
No, we will, yeah.
More questions for Terry or Foster?
Why aren't you going to some of the manufacturers that are out there now instead of trying to do a startup yourself?
Already have. So right now, St. Vincent Falls have a standing order in for 10 million homes today. And they're a year and a half backlog before we can even get to it, and they will not go price. Industry backlog is enormous. They have lots of funding because the market is so hot that they can't supply enough units out there. They're at 100%.
So they did the same government funding.
I don't know, they could, Yes, they could, absolutely. They don't want to because they can make more money selling it to the medium or higher income levels.
This is due to a shortage of materials.
This is due to the fact that we are a rapidly growing population in this state, as we know. I mean, those of us that have lived here a little bit, I grew up when it was less than 1 million people in the state of Oregon, we're at about 4.5 million. And so as a result of that, we have a lot of people coming into this area, not just from elsewhere, but from rural communities in this area. So we're seeing enormous population growth. And as we all know, that have lived here a long time, we never overbuilt our housing capacity. It was always enough in depth, whether it was in the 50s and in the 60s when we did the Western Pole and Covert Road area, we did that building, and then there was a collapse. And then in the 80s, there was another collapse after that. And then after that, there was another collapse.
I mean, to close my question proper, what I was getting at was, somebody was talking about outside manufacturers. Why aren't they going on these things? And the answer was, well, no, they can't backlog, they can't make it. And I'm wondering how you're not backlogged and you're able to get the resources that they can get to. I know from having a trailer, that the trailer sales guys can't build, they can't mine, they can't get it. It's gee, a lot of product in China. And there's none of that coming in. So I'm just wondering how you guys get access to the resources. Those guys are either lying to us about, or they just can't get through.
The private sector is not lying. They're talking about how big the facilities are. Remember that the mobile home industry is cyclical, just like, you know, like the Monaco's, the Marathons, and all that. Right. I mean, so there are booms and there's busts. And what they don't want to do is they don't want to expand their facilities and have a bust happen. So the physical plants that they have, the manufacturing have only limited capacity of what they can do. As a result of that, they don't want to expand past that for fear of what happens on the flip side once it goes down. So we're already talking about a recession right now.
You said the bad word.
Well,
That's been redefined.
I said, well,
Terry, can you please try to speak into the device so that people at home can hear what you're saying?
I beg your pardon, my problem is I get too excited about talking to human beings in the flesh.
I
And I forget that there are
understand.
people that are in the flesh
Or
on
if
the
you
other
stand
side.
over here, it would corral you.
It's difficult to corral. I'll try and stay here and be quiet.
More of a statement than anything else, it's gonna be the fourth, if, once this thing busts, it's gonna be the fourth real estate, you know, fiasco since the SNL crisis. And so you're talking about basically speculative real estate. We don't know if they're gonna be able to get VA funding for an extended period of time. Things come and they go. So this is absolutely speculative because, yeah, we have a need of people coming in. But nevertheless, these are homeless veterans, that even $550 a month is going to be difficult for them to be able to manage. So how are you going to be able to get past that speculation? As I said, you guys are all basically working in the same field and the same market or same real estate market. And what I'm saying is, yeah, it sounds great. Nevertheless, it's still speculative.
Well, here's the good part about that speculation, saying that whether the VA funding goes away for the units in this apartment complex. Well, let's suppose that it does go away. Okay, there's no debt service on the project, Okay, there's no debt service on the project. If the VA funding entirely goes away, then obviously we have the opportunity to serve a different low-income population. And as such, we would be able to carry on this project either way. Yes.
I just have a comment, which is that I'm super surprised here. I'm hearing a lot of people not supporting the project because some people think government money shouldn't go to that. It sounds like other people think that you're competing with the private sector, which I think are important concerns. But in this case, I think we are in a complete and total crisis. And in the absence of nothing, this is great. So I'm 100% supportive of it. And I think that people who I understand, I have a private business and I understand that concern about a publicly funded entity competing with the private sector. But I don't think because you're selling a different product, isn't that right?
The private sector actually is supportive of this. So the manufacturers of mobile homes throughout the state are well apprised of this project and support it. We're dealing with a population base that they cannot deal with cost effectively. They're actually filling in the niche market that is really somewhat below their horizon.
Well, I support any effort towards affordable housing. I see people unhoused. I support anything. What my concern is, and worry, is where you put these manufactured homes, that space rent that goes up, albeit you mentioned. The price of the mobile home was 160,000.
That's if it was in the private sector. We'd like to come in at half.
So that being said, roughly every 100,000 is about 1,000. Couple that with what she mentioned, over here at space rent is 700. That's what happened to that nutrition home lot out by Riverbend. They got bidded out, and all I'm suggesting is to complete the plan, give them their affordable housing, but give them the ground in which they have some say on it, because that is what led to the displacement of all those older folks at the Patrician, and it's a reoccurring event. I'm saying seal the deal down by allowing them to have the very ground. Now, it's a small lot, but at least they're not victimized by the profit margineers. And I'm not suggesting you guys are. Terry, you've done an excellent job with St. Penny, and every time I read about you in the paper, I think, wow, we need more like you. But what I'm suggesting and urging is that now that they place it on, it becomes theirs, and they're not a victim and cycled out again a home.
I completely support you.
So, again, as a caregiver, and I'm not trying to displace St. Vincent de Paul. You guys have some wonderful properties.
Yeah, I know.
But you guys, St. Vincent de Paul bought a older trailer park in Junction City off of First. And you owned it probably now for a good couple years, and the property is still a sham. And you've removed the St. Vincent de Paul, not you, per se you, when I say you, I'm just speaking that St. Vincent as a whole, has removed a couple of the old trailers that cannot be redone and put in a couple new ones. I've seen the new ones that have been replaced, and they're bare bone. Like, they're not bare bone. They're like very
Like FEMA? Like FEMA trailers?
like there are only two doors on one side, and they're like not wide, not anything really to look at. Looks like a small home, you know, but with nothing really to it, and which is livable, you know, but you know the pavement hasn't been redone. There's potholes. There's the gentleman I took care of had been asking St. Vincent de Paul for months. I mean, I helped him wrote letters to get his storage shed redone because it's mold and the roof is caving in. I mean, so there's issues with the old mobile homes that you guys have now. So, I mean, the newer properties are great. You guys are doing great on the newer properties, but like the mobile home parks are, in my opinion, I'm not a fan.
I'm really glad you brought that up, because here's the problem. Most of those units in there, I don't know, they're privately owned.
You know what park I'm talking about, right?
It's Tivoli.
Yeah.
And Tivoli, the vast majority of those units, they're old and bought. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I do not want to condemn some of these homes.
Sure,
So
sure.
as a result of that, what we're trying to do is we're trying to find a way to move people through to a better home. But if they're not willing to change out of the unit they've got,
Sure.
I can't do that.
Sure, no, but I'm not talking about their homes, but you do own don't you own technically all of their sheds? Because that is technically your property,
Absolutely, you're right.
and you have, and they've not been fixed.
I'll work on it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I think it's nice to say that. I think you need to have contact and say, this is what's happening. We've done two, or we've got something happening in 2 months. But your work on it is nothing.
Well,
I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
No, that's okay. No, that's why I'm here. So on those sheds.
I'll be cheap in mine.
So one of the things that we offered was to go to California High School and have them build sheds for that property.
Yes, and they were very excited about that.
And we told them to start anytime, and what happened next?
It didn't happen, and
And
COVID
why
happened.
did it happen?
I don't remember
Because
exactly.
they wouldn't do it.
Right, the school didn't do it, yeah.
We went to Jeff City High School, did the same offer. Oak Ridge High School, they made the same.
Yes,
offer. Okay.
and
Now we're going to the private sector, saying we're just gonna build this.
yeah, maybe letting the people there, letting them know, because they were just sitting there waiting.
Oh, that's a good point.
Terry, does Jefferson City have a wood shop classes?
Yes, they do. And they won't, I mean, I've offered, I said, I will buy the materials, I'll pay for your labor. It's just build it.
Yeah, so when you're a caregiver, you take care of a lot of people in low income and you learn a lot about them and their issues. In the type of people you're talking about that you're trying to help, I learned all of their issues. So I've been to almost every low income housing.
You and I should check on that.
There is a new superintendent of schools up there, maybe a reapproach.
Right,
would
Jeff?
happen.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is a matter of, if we're going to grow the next generation of labor that actually can do this type of work, we need to get on it. But unfortunately, you know, and I don't blame the high school, I don't blame the school programs. I mean, they've had, the last couple of years have been kind of tough. But you know, the truth is, until we get back to those vocational training programs, which is what we're trying to sponsor for this unit or for this project we're doing, you know, the truth is, we're not gonna get there. We've got to get more of that kind of.
The, on each tanker, there's a pastor and they put 200 sheds in McKinsey. And it was Springfield and LCC that built the sheds, and they were just boom, 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 boom.
They got any capacity?
I don't know, I can ask, because they're
You're
neighbors.
moving in touch with
And
them?
my other neighbors, the new superintendent of schools of Jefferson City, I can let him know he's even aware of this, and, you know.
Thank you.
That's what we need to do.
Please, have it over.
Not what you know.
Yeah.
I think they've been waiting on the sheds probably for like, what, 3 years, 4 years now, 5 years now? I don't know, but
Well,
it's
it's not
been
that long, we haven't moved it.
Well,
I haven't said that.
3 years?
Yeah, at least 3 years.
3
These
years.
are 4x8 sheds with a roof on the wall and
Yeah.
one doors, and we actually put them up an average an hour, 15 minutes.
Nice.
Once we're on site.
Well, we'll take 4.
But I'll talk both. We just want to expand this project.
Yeah, I mean, when you have people that live in a very small area, they depend on that shed for a lot of storage, like,
I agree.
they really do.
I agree.
One other suggestion that I would like to add, since we're talking about it, and have your attention.
You do.
Just a recommendation, that I have, since we are talking about this type of, I guess like, depending on the type of community that you're building for, something that, I ran into a very huge problem with getting, senior services to actually follow through with, is getting the right equipment installed into the homes. So if it was actually installed during, like grab bars, if you knew that you were doing a senior housing development, grab bars should be installed in the showers and outside the door frames, or like, you know, like those things, like the ADA for senior services should have like just be installed like immediately when you're building the homes.
So.
And I don't know if that's something that's possible or legal.
Let me give you a response to that.
Yeah.
There's a new code around mobile homes that's coming out that requires that.
Okay, great.
So any new construction, not just because.
Wider
they're special,
doors
I
to,
can't tell you about that. I do know that they must be. built
for
for-
wheelchairs.
They have to be fully adaptable and have all the necessary interior components to work.
Yeah, well, I know most of the mobile homes, so like the newer mobile homes, and I don't know which ones you guys are building, all have the wider door frames because.
They're not sure things required.
Because the older mobile homes you cannot fit.
The new code is coming out this year. It's actually just going into effect as of September. Okay, so the new code that's coming out from HUD specifically addresses ADA concerns.
Okay.
Thank you. So one last question. How many people are you serving? How many people will be living in this house? Assuming it's really constructed.
The project on Green Lane, 10.
And for any of the other, all the other projects you have, how many homeless residents, or whoever you're serving, how many people are living
In St. Paul's housing across the board,
across Eugene? That's just
across Eugene, approximately 3,000.
Whoa.
Yes, sir.
Any restrictions, about putting, natural gas lines to mobile homes or to new? Or it's gonna affect that?
Well, here's the good news about that one, is that's not a discussion where I really want to get involved deeply in. What we're building on these units that are going to be built at 888 Garfield are super energy efficient PTEX and ductless heat pumps in them and super insulated. So if you retrofitted the natural gas or propane, because if you're not in the country, you probably need propane, that's up to you, the homeowner. These units are going to be built with PTEX system. With ductless heat pump.
Great.
They're
Thank you.
always off the subject, didn't we?
Yeah, but in a really great direction. So thank you very much. Yeah. Anybody on the Zoom who has last minute questions for Terry? We haven't heard from you. It's not. Okay. Thanks, Terry and
We'll be
Foster.
there. Thank you.